Hi guys, you are welcome once more. Today we would look at risk appetite and risk tolerance. What is risk appetite? Risk appetite is the overall amount of risk an organization is willing to take on in order to achieve its strategic objectives. So when we talk about appetite, we are talking about how much can you take, how much can you eat. When we say somebody has a high appetite, that means they can eat more. And when we say somebody has a low appetite, that means they can eat so little. An organization may have a high risk appetite. That means they are willing to take on more risk, while an organization might have a low appetite, depending on that specific organization and what they do. And this is usually determined by the senior management. They are the ones who define what the organization's risk appetite will be. Risk tolerance narrows down to specific categories such as financial risk, operational risk, or reputational risk. So here, an organization defines the precise amount of risk they are willing to take in each area. So now this is more specific. So it's not overall risk as with risk appetite. Here, this is when an organization defines what they can take for a specific area. So for example, a financial institution might have a low tolerance for operational risk, that is system downtimes, because small outages can lead to significant financial loss and reputational damage. So on the other hand, they might tolerate some level of credit risk when giving out loans. So this depends on the organization and what applies to them. So I just want you to understand that risk appetite, when we're talking about risk appetite, we're talking about overall risk. And when we're talking about risk tolerance, we are talking about specific categories of risk and what an organization can take in each area. Risk appetite should support an organization's larger goals. So the level of risk taking should reflect the organization's priorities and ambitions. Risk assessment. Risk assessment is the process of identifying and analyzing risk. And it can be qualitative risk analysis or quantitative risk analysis. You can also call it qualitative risk assessment or quantitative risk assessment. So for qualitative risk assessment, it is based on qualitative factors like probability, impact, and overall exposure. And it relies on expert judgment rather than numbers. So for qualitative risk assessment, this is purely subjective. And when we talk about subjective, that means it is based on judgment and opinions, what I think. For example, what is good to me may be excellent to another person. What is excellent to me may be fair to another person. So that's based on personal judgment. For quantitative analysis, this is where we look at numbers. So this method uses numerical data and statistical model to establish the probability and impact of risk. So this is where we look at annual rate of occurrence, single loss expectancy, and some other equations. So this one we deal with numbers. And so these are some of the key things you need to note for the exam. You need to understand the risk responses, the process of risk management, risk assessment processes, and all of that. Now, lastly, let's look at asset identification. Assets can be tangible and intangible. Tangible meaning you can hold it, you can see it. Intangible meaning you cannot see it. And tangible assets could be your buildings, our routers, our laptops, our switches, all of those physical things. While intangible assets can be intellectual property. Is an asset. Our reputation, our brand reputation is an asset. Human capital, our employees, they are assets. So those are some of the things we look at when we are identifying assets. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. I will do it to answer all of your questions promptly. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.